top to body, what needs fixing?
Well, I was sat there and I thought, where do I start? Early age, I always had problems, always. I went into a lot of sports, or a personal trainer, you name it, I did everything. I went into hammer throwing, international hammer thrower. I really, really went far, however, it left me with a lot of body pain.
Right.
Ankle, a froze.
Yeah.
I've got very limited movement with those. Obviously knee pain from my hip. I had a dislocated hip and I needed to lose 12 stone.
Yeah.
So I had a gastric bypass.
Yeah.
It went wrong. I lost 9 of it. They did the operation. However, I've put on another 8 stone of that back on.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's one thing after another. Then I found now I'm actually, I've got one leg longer than the other. I'm shrinking and I've got two parts of the spine that are decaying.
Degenerating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I've also been put under the fibro spectrum.
Right. Okay. That's a long list, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take back. I'm going to fix one. Can't just fix one. All right. Can't just fix one.
Well, you're fixing one later. You're fixing finance, so we're nearly there.
But it's a key. Do you know,
Yeah.
you guys have been conditioned and programmed not to be wealthy, but you don't know it. You think of any movie that you watch. Give me a movie. Just name a movie.
Mannequin.
Pretty Woman, Mannequin, Titanic. All right. Look at the underlying programming about money. You've been conditioned, programmed not to want money. You do want money. Everybody wants money. But the underlying thing is you might be greedy if you get it, or you'll lose your friends. You know, everything from Cinderella through to... You've been programmed not to want it subliminally. Yeah? And you've got to clear that, all right? Money can do great good in the world, or it can do terrible harm, can't it? It could feed countries, nations, or it could develop weapons of mass destruction, yeah?
Yeah.
Or Donald Trump's new suit.
What's the new
Toupee. Anyway, right, so money in and of itself is not bad, wrong. It's how people use money. That's what's important, yeah? And you've got to get yourself from a position where you work for money to where money works for you. That's where you've got to get to. And that's what I've been able to do. But it's taken me, I'm 55, and it's taken me until I was 53, until I mastered it. And you know, it's not about being gooder or being smarter or working harder. It's none of those things. And if you want to know what it is, stay with me. 5 o'clock till 6:30. And if you're watching this at home, I've got more sessions like that. Check my website, JeanetteWilson.com. There'll be more sessions like that, and I will do some online as well for people that can't get to live meetings. Right, now what's happening for you? Any sensation?
Nothing.
Nothing yet? Okay.
It's really hot, but I've been hot since I walked in the room. So
Yeah. Right, okay, so they're working on your head first of all. Okay.
within a while.
That'll take a lot of room.
Thinking that.
Glad to see you brought your friends.
In my family.
Well, that's all right then.
Right.
I another mother.
Right, now, close your eyes, and I'm just wanting you to, it's a little trip down memory lane, and I'm wanting you to go back to, it's a story in your life where you absolutely felt like somebody was trying to punish you. Not necessarily family, it could be a schoolmate, but you really felt a real negative energy coming up from somebody. Can you remember what that was?
I can remember a few.
Right, okay. All right, and I just want you to know and understand this, okay? The us that we see looking in the mirror isn't the real us, that's the outer garment. The real us is invisible, it's lived forever, it will live forever, it's capable of unfathomable depth in terms of feelings, whether it's love, whether it's fear, whether it's anger. And I want you to understand just this one thing. Nothing can ever be added to that divine being that you are. And nothing can ever diminish you on the story of your divinity, on the story of your spiritual form. Nothing can ever be taken from you. Yes, on a physical level, somebody could thump us, our skin could bruise, but on the spiritual level, you can never be diminished and you can never be added to, which then sort of makes a nonsense of all the things we strive to do here. So I can't add to my real me, but nor can it be diminished. I can add to my ego, I can add another house or another car, but I can't add to the real me. Right. Now, as I say that to you, how does that feel? That the real you can neither be added to or diminished. How does that feel?
I control. I feel in control.
Lovely, cool. In control and yet not controlling. Does that feel right?
Yeah.
In control and yet not controlling. Brilliant, cool. Now, I want you to understand that this is your body. You don't own it like you'd own a car, but you inhabit it. And it's yours to inhabit for the length of time you wish to stay here on a physical level. Now, some of us look after our bodies better than others. Some people look after their bodies better than me. Some people look after their bodies worse than I do, okay? And how well I look after my body will, to some extent, determine how long I stay here. Now, how well I look after this body isn't just about whether I eat, whether I sleep, whether I rest, whether I exercise. It's about, do I have the knowledge? I've been eating a really good diet for a lot of years. I've been a vegetarian for 24 years, and I've been eating lots of raw fruits and veggies. I did raw food for 2 years. But my health wasn't as good as I knew it could be. And so I got curious. And one of the things I found about was essential sugars. And for your bodies to be really, really, really healthy, you need 8 essential sugars. They're called essential sugars because guess what? They are essential. They're essential for human life. So if you were eating a diet and it hasn't got these essential sugars in, guess what?
You're eating rubbish.
Yeah, and you die. You die. They're called essential sugars because they're essential. Now, back in the 1950s, what happened was, along came the supermarkets. My grandma used to buy her groceries for the day. She'd go buy a quarter of ham and a quarter of cheese or whatever. She bought it every day. She didn't have a deep freeze, a fridge. She didn't have a fridge. She had a cellar, cellar. She'd go down the stone steps to the coal, and she'd keep her milk down there. And the milk was brought by the milkman fresh every day. You're eating old stuff now, aren't you, eh? Think about it, in a plastic bottle with things in rather than the old glass. Bring back the milkman, I say.
I do.
Right, okay, so now, essential sugars. So the supermarkets came and all of a sudden you've got shelves full of apples, oranges, pears. They started to rot. Supermarkets couldn't have that. That meant losing money. So they messed around with the plant sterols. Now the plant sterols do 3 things. They ripen the fruit, they make the fruit rot, and they protect the fruit from disease. And they took out the plant sterols so that the fruit wouldn't ripen and wouldn't rot. But when it doesn't ripen, you don't get the essential fruit sugars. So what you need is fruit from trees that haven't been hybridized. You know, like we used to have grapes with seeds in? And now we've got the seedless grapes. How do you know if a fruit is hybridized? It's really simple. Does it rot in your fruit bowl? When did you last see a piece of fruit rot? Or even a tomato? You know, seriously, it looks fine, doesn't it? Your orange can sit there a month. Well, that's not right. That's not right, is it? It's not right. So what you need to do is you need to source yourself not only organic produce, but produce that isn't hybridized, and it means heirloom seeds that haven't been messed around with. Yeah, and then you will get those 8 essential sugars. Now, the pharmaceutical drug companies, they know this, so guess what they're busy doing? They're creating this kind of science. It's called glycobiology, and it's based on sugars. And they are going to sell you some drugs at a not too distant point in time that will start repairing your cells so your cells can communicate with each other better. Guess how much they're going to charge for this? Yeah? Well, you can do it for yourself now with that purple powder. You don't have to wait for them to do the technology. But 50 pharmaceutical companies are looking into glycobiology because they've realised that's where the solution for health is. But it's only a problem because it's been stripped out in the 1950s by your hybridisation. So find yourself fruits that are not hybridised, that are heirloom. If you've got a fruit tree in the garden that was there when Grandma was around, that won't be hybridised. It's got to be back before the 1950s. I don't know what brands of seeds here aren't hybridised. I know them in New Zealand, but I don't know here. There might be somebody in the audience that would know. I don't know if there is, but do your research. Find your heirloom seeds and start waiting, eat the fruit. If you eat a pear off a tree that's ripened naturally, it tastes unbelievably good, full of flavour, full of sweetness. Haven't you eaten apples that taste of nothing? They're not even sweet. That gives you an indication of what nutrients are in there. The sweetness is an indicator of nutrients. Okay. Now, what's happening for you? Anything exciting happening in there?
I feel I'm emotional, and now I'm at peace. I feel more at peace, more relaxed. I'm a lot cooler.
Cool, awesome. Now I'm going to get you to stand because I need to work on your spine. So if you can come and stand here, and I've got to remove my shoes. The lovely, lovely shoes that they are, but I need a good earth connection. So I live in bare feet. I live in bare feet. Seriously.
Yeah.
Funny little story for you. When I got to New Zealand, I was sat in the car, my partner had driven the car, we were pulled up, and there was a mother with 2 kids, and none of them had got shoes, and I was this close to getting out of the car and giving us some money for shoes. I didn't realise that's how Kiwis live. Everybody's bare feet. Seriously, walk through the high street, they're in bare feet. Not everybody, there are some people that wear shoes, but earth connection, earth connection. Now, what's happening with that sound for you?
It's almost as if it's a tunnel. I can feel the pulling of the energies and the between us.
Yeah. Right, now this is a big lump of energy. You can probably all see this that's been taken out. This is going to make quite a big difference. Right, just walk around a little bit for me. Notice how that feels.
I'm not dragging my leg as much.
Yeah.
I can feel that straight away.
Yeah.
I feel mobile more.
Yeah, cool. And then come and stand here again. It's going to sort out the ankles. Your left ankle is apparently worse than your right.
It is.
It is, yeah, cool. And your knees. Gosh, she's lucky, isn't she, eh? But once he's started, he's going to finish, you see. So, you can imagine that in New Zealand there is not enough of me to go around, and so that's why I teach. I teach how to do this so that you can then help your local communities. I'm not doing this to say, hey, look, aren't I wonderful? I'm doing this to say, hey, look, we can all do this. We can all do this. We can all learn. I've got one event in Chesterfield, one in Wetherby, and one in Oxford. That's the last one I've just added. Now, one of the surgeons, because there's 2 working at the moment, just said to the other one, nice. So let's just see how that feels.
You feel differently then?
I could feel it instantly down that leg.
Yeah.
But I thought the problem was down this leg, so.
Isn't that interesting? You can see she's moving.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Feels freer.
She's not rigid anymore, is she?
No,
Everything's
yeah.
moving. Shoulders.
To be honest, I'm scared to move.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, I'm scared to move because I'm scared of breaking something else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or pulling something else. But yeah, I'm going to do a workout in a bit.
Right, still more here, still more here. Okay, now your lesson through all of this has been, you've done everything for everybody else, but you've not listened to your body. You've overridden your own body, yeah?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so you've got to stop doing that. Some of us, we do that. We work late and we know we should be going to bed. Yeah. Or we get up early and we just feel like, I really needed an extra hour in bed. You've got to listen to your bodies, guys, yeah? One of my loves this lifetime is not having to set an alarm clock anymore. I love having that freedom of getting up when I'm ready to get up. I love that. I don't like making myself get out of bed. That's horrible. That's struggle energy. Right now, one of the surgeons said to the other one, clever. And I'm like, okay. So they're trying something different, so apparently. Right, see how that feels.
I felt more tingling down that left leg again.
Yeah.
Back of the knee actually. Because I normally, the legs go really back.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not as back, if that makes sense.
Yep, cool. Cool. Now we're working on both knees, from a distance, but we're working on both
Yeah, I
knees.
can feel that.
Okay, somebody just said wonderful, so let's take you for another test drive.
There I felt it on the groin area as well.
Yeah.
I'm not dragging the leg. The left leg is not. The right leg is normally. I normally drag it.
Yeah, no, that's a normal walk, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a normal walk. I want to do the ankles next, so just sit in there and let's do your ankles as well. Now, some of you here and at home may be wondering, listen to our body. How do we listen to our body? Would it be useful if there was a way that I could teach you how to listen to your body?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, watch this space, because there's a very famous musician that I'm a really big fan of that needs healing. And so in exchange for a healing, he's going to work with me. He's invited me into his studio, and I'm going to put together a series of CDs, one of which will be how to tune into your body. It's going to be pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, try that left ankle.
Don't feel any different really.
Okay, so you've still got pain in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rest it down. So two surgeons, one's just cleared energy down in a very, working from left to right, going from the front of the ankle to the back of the ankle, the other one just inserted an acupuncture needle. Give that another try on your left side.
Small movement there, I didn't still.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I needed to explain what he'd just done so that you can understand. So they do work with acupuncture needles.
I actually can't sit on my knees because it's froze that much.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So I want to do a test in a minute.
yeah, cool. Right, so now we're doing the right ankle, which actually isn't as bad as the left. You can just try your right one.
This one's not as bad.
It's not as bad, eh? Not
But
as
it's
bad.
the pressure between that bit. It'll be better.
Yeah.
It does feel better.
Yeah. Does it feel
Yeah.
perfect?
No,
Or not?
I've
No,
never
rest it down. God bless. Sorry. There's some humour. If you could get a camera in here, you'd love it. Eh? So sound from the front halfway through the ankle, 2 needles. Right, give it a go. How's that feeling?
Yeah.
Right, now do both ankles together.
It's that way, look. I can't move it inwards like that one, like that.
Right, so your right one still, your left one still needs some work, okay? Yep. Yep, rest it down. Cool. He needs you to walk. So as you walk, he's going to check everything out. Right from the spine, through the spine, shoulders, hips, everything. So this is the medicine of the future, except it won't be called medicine, it will be called, it's like preventative, it's understanding, seeing things within our bodies, feeling things within our bodies. She's walking round.
Is that what you wanted me to do?
Apparently. So it's like, it's going to be preventative. So the medicine of the future will be preventative, where we're looking to scan the body to see what's wrong. Yeah, cool. Right, okay. Right, what did you want to try to see, to put things to the test?
Well, it's... I did yoga not long ago, and I really struggled. I used to be able to do it. I could never sit back on this foot. And I really struggled. Even though I still wanted to do it, it crippled me, and that's going back further.
Yeah.
I couldn't even, I was more or less stood up.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like knelt up.
Yeah.
But that, there's still a lot of tension there, but the
Yeah.
movement I can feel is a lot better.
Yeah.
Plus I'm not struggling with my back.
Awesome.
And I feel like I've had a massage.
Yeah.
It's all tensions. The groin pain has gone.
Yeah.
Can you throw a hammer though?
She got lucky. Throw plenty at husband. I'll surely give it a go. Thanks, lovely.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.